Hey. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture, just to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. Listen, how are you all doing? I hope you all are doing fine. I keep telling y'all, I keep getting a little extra piece of my setup, and but all of this is in my desire to go live, to do one of these shows live. Picking a good time that you all will join me and we will do this live. We will do this live. So, those are my goals for the next 30 days. So, let's continue on what we're really doing here today. Today, we are about to view season 4, which is a series finale, episode 6, entitled Crank That Up Atlanta. 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 Y'all. This show, this particular episode had me tickled. When I tell you I was tickled, I was tickled. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I was tickled. I was tickled. So let's kind of get into it. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. So here we have Paperboy. Uh, we just got Paperboy and Ern and Darius. They're basically sitting at the house. Uh, Ern is trying to find something to watch on television. He can't seem to find nothing on TV. So he is, he's talking with Ern and Darius, he's trying to find something on TV. And they're like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean? You can't find anything on TV?" He's like, "No, I got all these $5,000 and I can't find anything on TV." And baby, that is the truth. You'll have cable and have 6,852 channels, and you really truly can't find anything to watch. There's nothing just like it. I think it's because it's so much you can't focus on anything. Anyway, so Paperboy is trying to explain to them like, "Hey, I am doing this. I want to know where the news is and all that other stuff." So Ern and Darius is telling him, "Man, if you want to know about the news or anything like that, you want to know about the news or know when somebody's died, that's TMZ." He says, "If you want to know what's going on in the minds of black folks, you just need to go to the shade room or the shade room and or the lipstick alley. Go into the comment section and you'll find out what's going on and what black folks are really talking about and worry about." And I thought, well, that's just pretty much the testament of social media these days on how information is now the currency versus uh, being at a job, factory work, and things like that. How the currency of information, how much that pays, or you're doing something, going viral and stuff like that. But anyway, that made Ern think about the Crank That Killer. And Paperboy's like, "Crank That Killer." And basically, Ern tells him that there, in the past year and a half, the murders that has happened in the Atlanta area in a year and a half, have one common denominator. All those people had completed or had done a Crank That video back in the day. So they got to laughing and whatnot because they're like, "Nah, we didn't do a Crank That video. We didn't do a Crank That video, baby." Paperboy told them, "Wait a minute, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I did a Crank That video back in the day." And so he ends up showing them that he did a Crank That video right here. So he was showing them on YouTube that he had done a Crank That video. And he said that, when he was, in the trap back in the day, they were at Greenbrier Mall, him and his guy, was he J Bug, whatever his name was, and that they were bored and it was hot, so they did a Crank That video. And Ern was like, "This is bad, this is bad, this is bad." Darius is trying to make things seem okay because he's like, "Hey, you only had 25 views, so that not that many people have seen it." And Ern is like, "Nah, this is bad. This is bad. This is really, really bad." So Ern gets really, really concerned. So Paperboy was like, "Look, Ern, what I need for you to do is I need for you to get on the internet and I need you to scrub that off there because he doesn't want any kind of situation where somebody sees the video and then hypes it up because it only had like 25 views. He didn't want anybody to see it, hype it up, and basically put him in the crosshairs of the killer if this is something that's going on. So as we go along, they're talking about sneakers and stuff too. After that, in that conversation, they were talking about sneakers. Nike has come out with the Miracle Dream or Dream Miracles or something like that, and they want a pair. And and he was talking about, wait a minute, I think I'm moving ahead, but let's just continue with the story. We'll get to everything. They're talking about sneakers. They want some sneakers. They were talking about how resellers are making a lot of money off these sneakers and whatnot. And they've been trying to get these sneakers. So you know who has a hookup. Oh, Darius. Remember I told you in one episode that Darius is I'm thinking that his arc is basically he is going to have to reconcile that he's a whole adult now, not living in their 20s, because I don't think that they're in their 20s anymore. I think that they are really working and moving into their 30s. And so he's having to reconcile that he is have to moving a little bit further in adulthood. Let me share my screen. Let me get over here. So have this young couple right here. The young man is an aspiring rapper. He seems to be married. He seems to be very, very young. He looks like he is in his mid-20s. And this is his wife/girlfriend. She is standing behind him. She's sticking beside him. He's working at the Greenbrier Mall. He is wanting to pursue his dream as a rapper. They have a child. She is worried about the money because, like I said, he looks like he's basically working part-time. She's trying to talk to him about possibly working full-time, all of these types of efforts. And he is like, oh, he's getting a little miffed because he feels like she's not supporting his dream. She's not supporting him. And all of these things because he's trying to look for his big break. And then he proceeds to tell her how Big Sean got his big break. All of this, yada, yada, yada. Now, let me go back to, I wanted to talk about, because this is very important. So Paperboy Boy and Earn go to the studio and they're working on a record. And so then this guy comes in. Oh, I can't think of what his name was. Some dude named Greg, some new dude named Sean. Anyway, he's some guy that does beats, and Paperboy's like his music is trash, but you can't tell him his music is trash. He proceeds because he said he knows this guy's gonna come in and want him to do a record with him. He proceeds to put Hennessy on the soundboard, so the soundboard would crash. So when the guy comes in, he's doing his little spiel, and I just thought him, and he just reminded me of a friend of one of my brother's old high school friends. But anyway, he comes in, all cool and everything like that. We're gonna do beats together. We're gonna do this together and everything like that. And Paperboy's like, yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that for sure, for sure, for sure. And he's like, well, let's go ahead and do it now. He's like, man, the soundboard is bad. He's like, well, you can just email. He said the Wi-Fi is bad. So, and the guy still doesn't get the hint. Like, no, don't nobody want to do a record with you. And that goes to just being upfront. Just tell the man, look, your beats suck, and I don't want to do a record with you. Anyway, and again, Earn talks about he can't get the sneakers. They are sold out. The resellers, Paperboy said, well, why don't you call Nike and tell them that, give me a pair for me and you. He said, I've done that. They thought I was crazy. And so now we kind of see like Paperboy's pull that he had last year is not as big, Paperboy was able to do a whole lot of stuff last year, just basing off his name and him being on the tour. This year, he's starting to see that he is being relegated to the old dude in the rap game. Anyway, so let's get back. Oh, we are past that. We talked about them. Now, first of all, let me get to this other. So real quickly, you see right here now, you see that car in the background. Now that's the car that the young couple was in. You see the lady is driving her car. The car in the foreground is the car that Ern and Darius is in. So they're getting out of the car because Darius done found them a hookup child. He done found Shoe Man, and he is trying to get Shoe Man to see if Shoe Man has his shoes. You know how Ern is. Ern is like, this look a little sketchy, but you know, Ern is always down for a hookup. He's like, this is a little sketchy, but you know, Ern is truly, truly down for this hookup. So Ern and then they go to the van, and they knock on the van, and the guy in says, hey, y'all get in, y'all get in, y'all get in, y'all get in. So this is the guy. This is the guy who is the shoe man selling out of his van. So they get in and they're going back and forth, and they're like, hey, we don't know if you have them, but he says, do you have those Nike Dream Miracles or Miracle Dreams, whatever these names of these shoes on? Old dude says, yeah, I got them. And they're like, what? He says, I got a 10 and a half and I got 11 and a half. Now you notice this man. Now look at him. Look how he is looking at them. He is, I mean, really intently, you know, because usually if you're trying to make little things like that, you tell them to get in. You ain't really trying to eye them like that. You want them to get in so that you can make your transaction and keep it moving, right? So they get in and they ask him, like, how much is the shoes? Well, he said, well, first of all, he tells him I have 2 pairs left. I've got a 10 and a half and I've got an 11. And they're asking him, like, oh, okay, so how much is it? He said, oh, not much. It's not worth much. And they're like, oh, well, how much you selling them for? He says, I'll give them to you. I'll give them to you. I surely will. I'll give you those shoes. So they're looking and they're acting like, oh, okay. He's giving away shoes. He's giving away shoes, baby. Homeboy says, I'll give them to him if you two kiss. And baby, what'd he say that for? What'd he say that for? Ern is looking at this man like he is crazy. He is looking at this man like crazy. Darius is like thinking about it. And Ern is like, wait a minute. He starts going into this commentary about shoes and how much worth and how much priority we're putting on these shoes and yada, yada, yada. And Darius is like, well, you know, I know you're not gay. You know, I'm not gay. We could do this because we want these pair of shoes. They're going to be free because Darius is looking at free. And he wants to do what he wants to do for free. Ern is not too he's not feeling this. He's not feeling this. And so him and the guy barter. Now look at him in that rear view mirror. Look how just sleazy he looks. Just anyway. They barter, and they decide that yeah, that's what they getting ready to do. They getting ready to kiss for this for these pairs of shoes, child. And anyway, so let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. This is just a, okay, so I knew it was the last slide. Let's remove this. So we got Paperboy at the house. You know, he's still thinking about this crank that killer. And we find he's still looking at this crank that killer. And then he calls Soldier Boy. And Soldier Boy is basically telling him, look, you need to find you a safe farm. If you don't have one, you need to get to it because this is serious. I'm moving out. I'm packing up everything. I'm getting the HE hell out of Atlanta because this thing is real. And so Paperboy is starting to feel like, hey, wait a minute. There's maybe some truth to that because he's like, okay, what's going on? And he go Soldier Boy. I wanted to say this. Soldier Boy looks good. He done gained him some weight. He looks like he's somebody. Before, he used to look like a little dried up prune. But now he's looking like somebody. And I'm glad about that. But he basically tells him, hey, you need to get your butt up out of there. Go to your safe house, go to your safe farm. If you don't have a safe farm, you need to get one. And so Paperboy, not Paperboy, but Ern is like, okay. So as Ern is sitting in the house, I went too far. As Ern is sitting in the house, he starts hearing all this noise. And he's like, he don't know what this noise is, and it's clunking and all this stuff that's going on upstairs. So what he decides to do, he decides to go out. So he goes out. He leaves his home. He goes out, and where does he go? He goes to Greenbrier Mall. Now, remember, Ern and Darius are in the parking lot, in the car, in the van, haggling for these shoes, whether or not they're gonna kiss. So Paperboy comes into the mall, trying to be incognito, trying to get, trying to be out in the open. So he's out there and he's in the mall, and the lady recognized who he is, and he's like, "How you know it was me?" She says, "You walking around here, trying to be all low key. Everybody in this mall has a hat that has a logo on it, and you are walking around this mall and you don't have a logo on your hat." So, and also too, this right here, when she said that, that made me think about the fact that uh Black people are very, very observant. And in particularly in anything, we're very observant. We notice different things that people don't think that we notice. And that was a good observation. Everybody in here has a logo hat. She probably would have recognized him because he's Paperboy. But had he just had a regular hat with his brim on it, everything like that, she may not have been so keen to scrutinize him, because that was something that she looked at that was a little off. So he buys him some pretzels, child. And she proceeds to tell him, "Look, I know that you're Paperboy, just like I know this man down here is Chris Evans." Because she says he doesn't have a logo on his hat as well. I got so tickled. I said, "Oh, no." Not Chris Evans in Atlanta. So they done name dropped his name. So you think Chris Evans is going to show up around a little bit later in Atlanta? You think they got that little coup going on? Anyway, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Let's go through these slides. Let's go through the slides. Here we have the young man. Remember, he was in the car with his girlfriend. He is, selling his dishing out the samples. And like I said, he must work at the Chinese restaurant, because the guy that came by right here, he was like, "You want a sample?" He's like, "Man, that's bourbon chicken. Everybody know what that tastes like. We don't want no bourbon chicken." So he looks a little frustrated or anything like that. So then we have this young lady right here. She comes up to him. She says, "Oh, you know that Paperboy is in the mall?" And he's like, "Paperboy? He's here?" She's like, "Yeah, my homegirl Kimberly said he just showed up and bought some pretzels from her." And he just goes into go time. "It's my time. This is my time. Oh, is it? This is it. This is it." He tells the girl, watch my station till I get back." She's like, "Fool, I work at Sabaros. You work at this Chinese food place restaurant. You need to be here." He don't care nothing about that child. He takes off. So Soldier Boy is outside here. He's eating his pretzels. He's having a good time. He's watching the kids, because now the kids are out here doing their little TikTok videos and their TikTok dances. And he's kind of giving it a look like y'all just don't know what kind of trouble y'all getting into, because in a few years somebody might be trying to kill y'all because y'all doing these TikTok dances. That's that look he gives me right here. So as we continue on, you see him look over to the other side, and he's noticing this car. And as this car is coming around, you start hearing the map. What do you call that? I was gonna say Siri, but that's not what you call it. When you do the directions, the route directions to get to where you want to go. He's hearing that. And as we see this car pull up, and he's noticing this car, but the guy gets out. He looks and keeps looking. The guy gets out. He keeps staring. And then he kind of realizes, "Oh, heck, this guy's got a gun. This guy knows." And as we find out later, this is a guy that he went to high school with and had some beef. So now this guy sees Paperboy, and he has beef all day with him. And I don't know why, but when I saw this man look like this, I thought of Prince. I don't know why I thought about Prince. Like, I just thought of the scenario that Paperboy was probably picking on this guy for a certain amount of time while he's in school. And now you see him, and he is really pissed at Paperboy, to the point that he starts chasing Paperboy, and he starts chasing Paperboy. So Paperboy runs into the mall. He's, like I said, he's still trying to be incognito. He's moving through the mall like he needs to move through the mall. You see the guy is studying in an effort to come to find him. Paperboy is looking over his shoulder. The guy is looking around for Paperboy. Paperboy ends up at this kiosk. You see the guy, because he looks very menacing. He ends up at this kiosk. The lady asks him, does he want to buy something? And he's like, yeah, give me one of these little belt buckles. And she's like, don't nobody buy them belt buckles but crackheads. You talking about you a crackhead? And he gives her a look. She's like, okay, you trying to set a trend. There she goes. Baby, next thing you know, Paperboy looks up and shots ring out. This fool starts shining, firing in the middle of the mall. He's fired at Paperboy. He's doing a thing. Now, here's what got me tickled. You all realize that Georgia is an open carry state. So you go into a situation like that, you don't know who's strapped. Baby, homegirl gets out. She's shooting at the man. It's a whole shootout at the OK Corral. It's a shootout at the Greenbrier Mall, child. They just shooting. Then you see this dude in the shoe section. He's shooting too. Everybody's shooting at everybody. This guy comes from, I don't know where he came from. He starts shooting. Then the guy, he sees the people shooting at him, so he picks up a child as a shield. Coward. He picks up a child as a shield because he knows that people are not going to shoot at children. But I'm telling you, after a while, you're going to be running around with folks who are going to mess around and they don't care. They're going to shoot that child. They're going to be like, well, that's just collateral damage, baby. That's just collateral damage. I hate that, but that's what it seems like. They're just shooting. So then Paperboy finds him a way out. He sees him a way out. And as he's running to the way out, guess who runs into Paperboy? Now, all this shooting is going on. Homeboy is trying to rap for his chance. Skibbity gibbity pat. The guns go off, tat tat. I'm trying to see how he's looking. He is oblivious to what's going on. He is just trying to make his day. Child, Paperboy ain't studying him. Paperboy pushes that boy into the glass. You see this? He pushes him into the glass and he runs out. Meanwhile, all these shots and stuff are going on in the mall. People are flying out. Darius and Ern are in the car, and they have decided that they're going to do this kiss. This man is watching. He is very intent on seeing this kiss. There they go. They do the kiss, and they don't realize that as he does the kiss, they're running out the door, running out the mall. Baby, they get to shoot. Next thing you know, shots ring out, and who gets hit? Oh, dude. He don't even see the kiss. He gets shot. Child, Paperboy is running for his life. So he doesn't have to worry about the crank that killer. He's having to worry about a guy from high school that has beef with him. And as Cardi B said, who looks like he's going to have beef with him forever. He gets behind the car, boy. He is scared. He don't want to die. That is not where he want to go. As he's sitting there scared and nervous and trying to plot what's going to happen, somebody else comes out, starts shooting. And again, it's this whole shootout. While this shootout is going on, here comes a car that pulls up. And who's in the car? What's his name? That dude named Doug. That guy named Doug is in the car, child. He rescues him. Now, if you let me tell it, he's been following Paperboy. Because I thought he was going to be the crank that killer. Because he's frustrated because he couldn't, he worked with Soulja Boy and his beats didn't work off. Now, that's my thinking of what was happening. So he rescues Paperboy. Paperboy is all happy. He's like, man, you the truth. We love you. Man, that dude named Doug is on ones and twos. You see Paperboy, how he's sweating like bullets. And you look at him. He's sweating like bullets. Like, woo! Homeboy, you see how smug he's looking? Because he knows he's done something. So he's got him in a situation where Paperboy can't tell him no. And he asked Paperboy to record a song. And they leave from there and they go to the recording booth. And he's just stuck. He just feels like he's so stuck. He don't know what to do. He's just now resided the fact that he's got to do it. Baby, I forgot to tell you that once the shoe man got shot, Darius and Ern took them shoes and they left up out of there because they were like, well, we ain't got to pay for them. Child, I probably would have took a couple of more pair, but I wouldn't have had time to do all of that. But anyway, they get back to the house. Paperboy is doing his plants and everything. They all happy and cool and everything. I guess that's his Zen place where he goes. That looks like weed, though. He looks like he's doing his little weed garden. But anyway, they sit down and talk, and they was asking him about his day, and he was like, I ran into somebody from high school who still has beef with them. And they're like, okay. He notices the shoes, and Darius is like, it's about time he noticed the shoe. I had to do a little bit to get these shoes, and Ern is looking at him like, nigga, don't tell nobody, even allude to what had to happen in order for us to get these shoes, child. So then they said that they got the Crank That Killer. He was arrested, and this is what the Crank That Killer looks like. He was no one that I saw earlier, but I guess I need to go back to make sure he wasn't somebody that we saw in an earlier episode, because I didn't see him in this episode. And then the episode goes off. All right, people. So that was the episode. What did y'all think about this episode? Did you watch? Did you watch? Did you watch? What did y'all think? What did y'all pull from it? Again, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I really do truly appreciate it. That's it for me. Didn't have any kind of big nothing stood out to me other than what I had talked about. All right. I appreciate you all watching this video. Stay tuned, because I just realized that Reasonable Doubt, we are in halfway through the season. So I am going to do my half of the season prediction episode. So y'all stay tuned for that. All right. And as always, people, bye-bye.